Hello guys, I just wanted to share something amazing I found. If you're playing Holy Paladin, you can absolutely devastate people in PvP and bosses in PvE with your amazing burst damage. First of all, you want all crit and haste gear to get the maximum amount of DPS, and you can also get some versatility if you don't find the perfect piece like this 370 cloak that has versatility is still better than a crit haste cloak. You also want a haste proc trinket and a critical strike main stat trinket, so you can get around 20%. So when you pop wings, your holy shock has about 80% crit chance. You would also want radiant incidences stacked as many times as you can. You can also go with thundering storm or this baby, Battlefield Focus, I've also found out is really good. Don't go Gut Ripper, it actually sucks pretty bad. But also, Overwhelming Power is insane. Heat Mic Hold's good. Resonance Fury, Heat Mic, yeah. All those DPS ones, you want to go with them. So what you want to do, you want to keybind your trinket to Avenging Wrath. And you want to spec into Crusader's Might, Sanctified Wrath. Divine Purpose is good, but you can also deal damage without it. And you really want to pick a Holy Avenger, because it gives you 30% haste, which is massive. So what you want to do, you want to go up to a target and pull your cooldowns. If you're playing PvP, maybe you should get his trinket first and then stun him after. You can pretty much kill him in 6 seconds if you're just optimized. So now I'll show you what it looks like. I have a damage meter down here. You can follow along. So you want to proc it, you want to attack, and then you want to spam Crusader Strike in between every cast of Holy Shock, because that resets its cooldown. Judgment also gives enormous damage. You can also cast Consecration. It's a bit cheap when I'm fighting these target dummies, because I'll hit 2 of them, so I normally don't do it. But you can get around 17k if you're lucky with your procs, trinkets, and all that shit. And you can get around 300k damage done in a single burst. That's absolutely massive in PvP. I often go, if they draw out the fights, I often get like 800k damage, which is pretty good, and we're pretty underpowered when it comes to healing. Like, we get outclassed by Discipline Priest and Restoration Druids, but they can't get near our bursts, so that's one of the things I would recommend you trying. It's also very fun in Battlegrounds, and you can always bubble to get immunity to stuns, and here you can see the Radiant Incidents dealing tons, absolutely tons of damage. Holy Shock, of course, is your main. Melee attacks somehow does amazing DPS. Crusader Strike, Judgment, Consecration, and you can see I didn't even have a proc from my chest plate, but if that procs, that's additional 15k damage, and Gut Ripper is normally like around 4.5, 3k. But this is a great way to play Holy Paladin DPS like we used to back in the days. And now it's become like really hard to do this. You want really good gear too, because the better gear you have, the more DPS. And again, just main stat, haste and crit. Crit is maybe a tiny bit more important, but they both play a big part. I would recommend this trinket or the flask one. And then I'm going with Dino Bone Charm, because I need like a little bit additional crit, and also has a great proc. You can also go with Darkmoon Deck Squalls, but like it doesn't really deal that much damage. So I'm just gonna show you again before I quit the video. So you want to proc all your shit, and then you just want to spam Judgment, Holy Shock, Crusader Strike in between all of you. And when it procs, you can cast it again. It's best to proc your Holy Shock after you get Judgment off, because then it will deal bonus damage, and then you can see I got a huge chunk of holy spams, so like I got up to like 15k. It's pretty awesome, guys. You should definitely check it out. You can see that Battlefield Focus proccing in, Holy Shock dealing absolutely crazy amounts of DPS. So that was just my basic guide for Holy Paladin DPS. Here's the talents again. PvP talents don't really give you damage, but if you want to do like, well, PvE damage, go with Avenging Light. It actually deals a lot of AoE if you're just pulling a lot of mobs. Pure Heart is good against rogues. Ultimate Sacrifice for 2v2s or 3s. Divine Favor is a must-have since it just top heals people. Light's Grace is pretty important as well. There's a lot of stuff you can go with. Pretty viable. That's all from me, guys. Have a nice day.